scraps that you've thrown us. We're no longer begging you, holding out a cup. We're no longer satisfied inside your institutions. Together we are moving out and moving up. Oh yes, we're moving and we're caring and we're sharing and we're growing. We find the strength together and we'll find it deep inside. Why can't you simply understand that everyone is special? And life is not worth living without dignity and pride. It used to be the policy to let us die or kill us, and it became somehow humane to lock us all away. Well, times have changed, we've changed, and now we won't accept it. Our lives are just too precious, and we are here to stay. Oh yes, we're moving and we're caring and we're sharing and we're growing. We'll find a strength together and we'll find it deep inside. Why can't you simply understand that everyone is special? And life is not worth living without dignity and pride. Now some of you think some of us really aren't quite human. That's how you try to justify the cruel things you do. There is no way you can stop us. We will love our way to freedom. It's a lifelong living struggle. Somehow we'll make it through. Because we're moving and we're caring and we're sharing and we're growing. We find the strength together and we find it deep inside. Why can't you simply understand that everyone is special? And life is not worth living without dignity and pride. No, we're no longer grateful for the scraps that you have shown us. We're no longer begging you, holding out a cup. We're no longer satisfied inside your institution. Together we are moving out and moving up. Oh yes, we're moving and we're caring and we're sharing and we're growing. We'll find the strength together and we'll find it deep inside. Why can't you simply understand that everyone is special? And life is not worth living without dignity and pride.
We urge you to please come back as often as possible. There will be vigils and pickets Monday through Wednesday morning, tomorrow, the next day, and the next day, at the Moscone Center where APTA is meeting, a few blocks over that way, at 10 a.m. The leaflet that told you to come today, it was either yellow or purple, also describes those events if you forget the time and place I've just said. Those leaflets are here, and some of the people that are in charge of such things should distribute those leaflets through the crowd now.
What do we want?
Access! Now! Access! Now! Access! Now! When do we want it? Now! Hey!
You heard it before. The issue is very simple. We want to use the same public transit as everybody else. Our taxes pay for it. We're part of the public, and we deserve to ride the public transit, and we will ride.
The establishment would want us to believe that the only way that you can make progress in fighting for equal rights is through going along, being quiet, taking whatever anybody else gives you. Well, I have learned in 17 years of women's rights, that the only way you make progress is that you make a lot of noise. And when they won't accept you in negotiations, you take to the streets. And when after you've been in the streets, they try to pacify and give you less than what you want, you know that you can always go back to the streets because you're going to keep the eye on the goal and never settle for half as much.
The bus stop. Much later. Oh, good. Here comes the bus. Oh, no. There's no crib symbol. What do you mean there's no lift? Julie said this line was wheelchair accessible. Oh, every other bus. Well, how long to the next bus? You're kidding, right? Well, he didn't have to slam the door in my face. 1 hour later. All right, another bus. I could still see the exhibit for a whole 15 minutes. Why don't you know how to operate the lift? You're a relief driver, and you learned on another kind of bus. Great. Well, could you try it again? Maybe it'll work this time. I know you have a whole busload of people, and it would be a terrible, terrible thing to inconvenience them.
Super girl flies through the air, lifting up cars that block curb cuts, dropping them into lots marked stupid ABs.
Yeah!
Super Crip girl has a hard time riding the buses with her disabled lover. The driver barks. You can't ride with your friends. There's only room for one of your kind. Super Crip girl blocks the rush hour bus lines with 400 of her Crip friends. The city comes to a halt. The city gets the clue. Conditions for Crip transportation improve. Super Crip girl transforms AB minds in her bare hands, prying open steel trap attitudes. Super Crip girl whisks them away to Cripland for the day. There they try to ride inaccessible buses all day. There they get to be a Crip, get to pick the disability they're most scared of, get to feel what that might be like, maybe even get to understand. Super Crip girl gets tired sometimes, has too much work to do, knows she ain't ever gonna get done.
It is ironic that this year, while we celebrate the 200th year of this Constitution, it is very ironic that disabled people from all over the nation and their supporters on the 27th day of September 1987 have together in San Francisco not to enjoy the rights, but to demand the rights of equal and accessible transportation.
How many times have I gone to BART and waited and seen my train is supposed to be going to San Francisco? I get on the train, I'm reading a newspaper, and I find I'm going to Fremont. I've lost my way because they've made a verbal announcement that they were going to Fremont but never flashed any news to me. There should be that kind of visual display clear to people who are hearing impaired in places like BART.
When I used to see handicapped people, I felt awkward and funny inside. I found myself feeling sorry for them. The light is not. My tongue got tied, but I got a new view from a wheelchair. Now they're all staring at me. What a lesson I learned when the tables were turned, but I'm glad 'cause I finally see. Yes, I'm doing all right for a cripple, and I'm a tax-paying citizen too. At times it gets rough, but I'm pretty tough, and somehow I keep making it through. So don't give me your peace or your pity. It's time to get out of my way. Well, it's been a trip for the kids can be here, and I'm enjoying myself today. And so, the next time you see a cripple, don't get all teary and frown. Just because the person can't get up is no reason to put them down. Some of us are the armed churches, and some can't hear or see. So maybe you'll find you're the one who is blind, understanding He set us all free.
You may be called to take America to task so that the president, the administration, any public transportation institution will begin to know that access to buses, to trains, to everything else that moves is a right and a privilege that you must have and that you will have. You may be called to set what's wrong right by letting people know that you are not to be pitied, you are not to be put down, you are not to be felt sorry for. What you are a people who stands up for its rights, and you're not going to quit until you get all your rights.